Yes, I was a vegetarian for 18 years and then a vegan for 2 years. Obviously, I was totally convinced that that was the best way to go. I followed so many doctors, and in my 40s, I'm 69 now, I watched the doctor that wrote the China study. I was so impressed by that, the millions of people that they had worked with, and him talking about that milk had leached calcium out of people's bones because of its acidity, and how people in China had strong bones, were very healthy, and had mostly a vegetarian type diet. So I studied many other doctors. Again, as I mentioned, became a vegetarian for 18 years and stuck with only eggs, cheese, and vegetables. And I was a very healthy vegetarian. I didn't really eat chips. I didn't eat many sweets for a long time, but then my bones kept getting worse and worse and worse. First I had osteopenia, then I had osteoporosis. My bones were really suffering because I wasn't getting enough protein. And my naturopath would do tests every time. So before you become a vegan, before you become a vegetarian, please listen to what I have to say, because I have years and years of a very strict diet in that regard. So after 18 years and my bones getting worse and having other issues as well as severe gut issues, I've suffered with IBS and extreme bloating my whole life, looking like I am 3 to 4 months pregnant all the time. I've never been able to wear really fitted clothes, which has been really frustrating. So I don't want to see you have to go through that. So what I did was I did more studying. I thought, well, maybe going vegan is the way to go. And I watched Dr. Goldner's YouTubes, and she talked about how people did the smoothie diet with lots of green smoothies, chard, spinach, kale, that sort of thing, that they would build strong bones. So I did that. I was living off smoothies. I did 3 or 4 big Vitamix smoothies a day and drank all those, and that's what I lived off of. And it was terrifying because each year I'd get my DEXA scan. It was like my bone report had dropped off a cliff. It was unreal how much my DEXA scan numbers were plummeting. It was so terrifying. And then I knew I had to do something different. And I was also struggling with my weight. I was so bloated, so uncomfortable, so much gas and flatulence. I hate to tell you about that, but it was so embarrassing for me living with my partner, Art. We would go for walks and it was constant. I felt like I was going to blast off to another constellation. So embarrassing, I can't tell you. And then gurgling every time I ate for hours on end. And then I was having other issues as well, but the bone issue was really scary. So then I looked into keto because my sister had lost 35 pounds on keto. She hadn't been skinny since her 20s when she was a model, but she'd taken on keto and looked fantastic. And I read about that involved a lot more protein and few carbs. And I discovered Dr. Eric Westman. And it was great because I found out that I could maintain my weight a lot easier. I still had carb cravings though. I stayed off the sugar, I stayed off the white flour, all that sort of thing, because I'd been pre-diabetic years ago and had cured that by staying off all refined flours. I also had a gluten allergy. The great thing about keto though is I found I could go longer without being hungry, but in the middle of the afternoon I had to have a snack, so I started eating lots of nuts and cheese. Keto did help me get down to my desired weight, but my IBS and SIBO, small intestinal bacteria overgrowth, still continued. I swear I had it when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I even had a bloated tummy. My mother raised us. Is this how it was for you? And my mother raised us on skim dried milk, on margarine, no butter, very low fat. And I remember I was just starving all the time, a growing kid. And when we got home from school, if I was really hungry, I was allowed to have one snack, and that was an apple. And an apple with all that natural sugar would make me even more hungry. It was really tough. So then over time, my IBS continued to get worse. I discovered Dr. Eric Westman and his diet, working with people on 20 or less carbs per day. And that enabled me to get my weight more stable, to drop some pounds. I do have a video talking about how I dropped 6.5 pounds in 2 weeks that I'll link here. But my IBS continued. Now I was having autoimmune problems. I went to my dermatologist and I had what my oldest daughter at 33 called a cow spot on my back. And this is where my skin was losing pigment. And my dermatologist told me that my body was attacking my skin. I went, what? What else could happen? I also have an infected skin fold on my thumb that's been very resistant. But I found out that the carnivore diet, because it's very non-inflammatory, can help you recover. It has helped many people recover from autoimmune syndromes. And Dr. Ken Berry, who I really admire, who many people watch who follow the carnivore keto diet, he talks about he's seen many people out of his 1 million+ followers heal all kinds of digestive issues, including IBS, SIBO, Crohn's disease, colitis, and more. And so I went, oh boy, that would make such a difference in my life if I could heal that. It'd be so less embarrassing for me. And of course, I have a goal to be able to get into that skinny dress once I have a flat stomach. I'm tiny. I don't need to lose any weight. I've always really watched my weight very closely because when I was young, for decades on and off, I suffered with a binging and purging type syndrome. That it's been a long time since I've had that, thank goodness, but I never wanted that to come back again. So I've been very careful about watching my weight so I didn't trigger that again. So I thought, well, I'll give this carnivore diet a try. So I did 12 days ago, and was I ever surprised? That's why I wanted to make this video. It's shocking. Right away, within 3 days, I found all my cravings were gone. I no longer need to snack. Middle afternoon dinner, I was always snacking like crazy on nuts, on almonds, on sprouted pumpkin seeds, on cheese, that sort of thing. So I'd be starving normally on a keto by the time lunch came around for a snack in mid-afternoon and dinner. But on carnivore, I haven't had any cravings at all. I know for some people it takes a while. I've continued to use my stevia in my coffee. Some people have to cut that out all the way. And also, I've been very strict about just sticking with carnivore foods. I eat beef at lunchtime. I make myself an omelet. I put bacon in it and cheese in it. I really, as Ken Berry recommends, stuff myself until I'm comfortably full. And hallelujah, I actually am not hungry again until dinner time. I can't believe it. It's so amazing. And I actually been really stuffing myself because I didn't want to lose a bunch of weight like people talk about. And I was so scared getting on the scales because I only get on the scales once a week on the weekends. And I thought, boy, I've probably gained 4 pounds after eating all this meat, this beef. I was cooking T-bones and all kinds of steak at night, pork chocks wrapped in bacon, salmon cakes, you name it. And my partner, Art, was just shocked that I could sit there and not eat salad because I've always loved salad, but I haven't had cravings for it at all. Plus, there's a lot of doctors I've heard out there that talk about, one in particular that talked about that the oxalates and lectins can cause your body to have foreign proteins set up inside your cells, and that is causing, they believe, many autoimmune diseases. And it makes sense that that would be why my body would be attacking my skin, because it sees some unnatural cells in there. Really interesting. So I've been very motivated to stay off vegetables and nuts, to stay away from those oxalates and give this a try. And you won't believe it. Within 3 days, my gas stopped totally. I don't have any fluctuance anymore. It's been 40 years since I remember having big issues like that. It's incredible. I still have quite a bit of bloating going on and a lot of gurgling, so I'm looking forward to seeing what the future holds. But I wanted to give all of you an update to let you know where I am in the carnivore diet. I've also been very impressed by watching some of Michaela Peterson's videos. She talks about having severe issues with arthritis, attacking her own joints. She had to have joint replacements in her teens. And going on an all-meat diet, she's been able to totally settle everything down, her digestive issues, her autoimmune issues. She looks healthy and strong. It's amazing. And then her dad went on the diet, so really slimmed down. So a lot of people slim down super easily on this diet. I can see why, because you're not hungry. Me, because I'm trying to maintain my weight, I'm eating a lot of butter and keeping the grease in when I'm cooking bacon or something and just cooking it into my omelet, that sort of thing. But it's amazing. Normally I have a really slow metabolism. I, at 69, burn around, I figured, 1,300 calories a day. On this diet, I'm more like 2,000 calories a day to maintain my weight. So obviously my body is so much happier, so much healthier. It's absolutely fantastic. And now I understand why Ken Berry talks about the benefits of the carnivore diet and how it also settled his digestive issues down, his IBS. He can't eat any kind of greens either. I've also really enjoyed watching the videos by Homestead How and how he lost 40 pounds in a really short period of time and cured many of his health problems, including digestive issues. I've also been motivated by Bev from 50 Plus Beauty and by Lisa D1, along with Ken Berry, to talk about solving their digestive and IBS issues and SIBO issues using the carnivore diet. Give this video a like and subscribe for more videos like this one. Make sure and look at my carnivore playlist here, where you can see my full playlist on my progress through the carnivore diet and curing my health issues.